Tiger sharks are famously the garbage cans of the ocean. They eat just about anything. They've been found with license plates in their stomachs. They've been found with a full medieval suit of armor in their stomachs. One of my favorite things that's been found in the stomach of a tiger shark is penguins. So off South Africa, you have penguins that don't need to be in the freezing cold water, the little blue fairy penguins. So sharks eat penguins. Tiger sharks also are able to use their can opener-like teeth to crack through the shell of a sea turtle. So they're one of the few species of few predators in the world that can eat sea turtles. Great white sharks, which is what the shark in Jaws is, famously eat seals and marine mammals. If you've ever seen those amazing images or videos of great whites jumping out of the water, pounding a seal and flying through the air, that's what they're doing there. And they're one of the few things that can keep pinniped, seals, and sea lion numbers in check. There are other species of sharks that eat squids. There are other species that eat crabs and lobster. There are other species that eat fish. So they have a huge diversity of ecological roles, but generally what we're talking about here is eating prey, and by doing so, keeping numbers in check. I want you to visualize the food web. You've probably saw a diagram like this in school. There's the predators on top, and then there's the mid-level predators, and then there's the herbivores, and then there's the plants. In the ocean, it's a little more complicated than that because we have a lot more what's called trophic diversity. There's a lot more steps on the food chain in the ocean. So much so that eating something like a tuna, a top predator, has been described as the land equivalent of eating a dragon that eats lions that eats cows, rather than eating a cheeseburger. So if you visualize this food web, there are all these little lines interconnecting the different species. This eats that, this competes with space for that. And eventually you get just a tangled mess of lines interconnecting everything. And that is a healthy, intact ecosystem. Trying to predict what happens if you lose some of these species is impossible, but what we do know is if you pull 1 or 2 of these threads out of the food web, it'll probably be okay. If you pull 5 or 10 of the threads out of the food web, I start to get really nervous. And if you start pulling 20, 30, 40, 50 threads out of the food web, we're talking about the collapse of an ecosystem. This can be very, very bad.